Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a video about lie angle, which is basically the angle that your club makes with the ground when you're at address. If you have it, 3 up would look like kind of like that. That would be, standard. You want it to be basically like this, so that'd be like kind of standard for most people. And if you had it, too much like negative, you'd be toe heavy. So a positive lie angle, you're probably a little bit heel heavy, and a negative one, you're probably a little bit toe heavy. I have Ping basically has a fitting chart that gives you your static lie angle. On their fitting chart, I'm a black dot, but I just got fit for these Ping G430 irons, and the person fitting me strongly suggested I go with the white dot, which is +3, which after a little bit of research, may have been a mistake. But the good news is you can send them in and they can bend them back to either whatever color you need them to within reason, plus or minus however many degrees. So I did hit these on my golf simulator, and I'm still hitting the ball a good amount right. So the thinking is if you increase your lie angle, you'll hit the ball more left because the face automatically, the more you lift it, starts to turn left. The more negative you go, the more it goes right. So if your miss is always left, it makes sense to add a few degrees of lie angle to your club. If your miss is always right, add a few degrees. Your miss is always to the left, maybe take a degree or two off. +3 is probably a little excessive. I probably could have gone +1, +2. Would have been a more reasonable fit. But again, I'll show you guys the data on the simulator, and I do still end up hitting the ball right a good amount. I do have some more left misses than I used to, which makes me think that when I'm actually hitting the ball well, it's going further left than it needs to go. So I will eventually send these into Ping, get them changed up. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure that that's a good idea. So I bought some lie angle tape. So you can put this on the bottom of the club, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. And then I basically made a lie board. So you basically need like a plastic surface that will kind of brush up on this tape and give you an idea if you're hitting too heel or too toe heavy. That gives you an idea on what you need to do with your lie angle. So basically I got a plastic cutting board. I put some tape around the sides. I made a little dimple in the middle so that a ball will sit in there. In addition to that, there's a thing you can do called like basically the marker test. So let me show you guys. What you want to do is get a dry erase marker that works the best. I've learned that the Sharpies, they don't really rub off onto the club. So what you do is you line the ball up where you're going to be hitting it. You make a black line with the dry erase marker, and then you hit it with the club, and you see what that leaves on the face of your club. So if the ball, let me show you here, makes a perfect up and down line on the face of the club, so it's up and down, then you have a pretty good lie angle at it when you're actually at impact. If it's going too far this way, that means you probably should bend it down. Too far the other way, probably should bend it up. Or too more toward the heel, probably should bend it down, And toward the toe, probably should bend it down in order to get it more towards the middle of that line. So I'm going to go try the marker test. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my 7-iron. I'm going to put this tape on the bottom. And this tape you can buy on Amazon. I'll put a link to it down below in case you're interested. So the heel, on the heel, the toe. That'll hopefully give me a good idea. Actually, I should probably put it further back. So that was kind of a waste, because I probably won't be impacting there. Maybe I can still get away with using this piece. So I probably should put it like on the edge of the club here, or the face, where you'll actually be impacting first. So we got the heel, the toe, and then if I'm always rubbing off the heel part, then I know I need to bend them back down. If I'm in the middle every time, then my lie angle's good. I shouldn't mess with it. And if I'm on the toe, then I need to go even more further upright, which +3 is pretty excessive when I'm a standard length black dot on the Ping static measuring chart. And I'll show you guys an image of the chart here too. And then to aid with the marker test, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of a hitting. And that should show up on there a little bit better. It'll show me where the ball's hitting as well as the mark, hopefully. Whether it's this way, or straight up and down will be nice. And this gives me a little bit of a reference too to compare it to. And you can buy these little stickers on Amazon as well. I'll put a link to those. So I'm going to tape this down. I'm going to go to my hitting, to my golf simulator. I'm going to tape this down where there's like a little removable part that Velcros in. And I'll just tape this in there. We'll try this out. So let's go out there. And then I'll come back to the bench, review with you guys what I figured out, and I'll show you guys the data that I'm getting from my Garmin R10. All right, guys, so here we are in my garage golf simulator. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that piece of fake grass there. Put down this improvised lie board, basically. And then we will hit this ball with this mark on it, and we'll see what it does to our club. All right, guys, let me show you how that first shot went. So I hit it off the toe, but this mark, it is, fairly parallel with this black line here. I didn't really make too much of a mark. Oh yeah, I did. And so basically maybe a little heel heavy. It does kind of fade a little bit at the toe. Kind of hard to see. You can see there's more marks on the heel. There's really not a lot on the toe. Hopefully it'd be more even. So let me try that again. I'll back you guys up so you can see my full swing. And we'll try hitting a few more balls. Alright guys, so very similar result. I left the same front sticker on it, but this line moved, so I got a little bit closer to the center of the face that time. Maybe leaning a little bit toward the toe. And let's see how we did on the bottom. Again, still a little bit heavier on the heel side. So I think those two data points would suggest maybe coming down a few degrees. But let's go ahead and do one more time. I tried putting the heel tape a little bit more in the center. I think that worked a little better. Let's do one more. I'll put a fresh, oh no, I can probably still leave that sticker on there. See if I can hit it in the center of the club face this time. And we'll go from there. Alright guys, let's take a look. Finally got one in the center, closer to the center of the face. That one is pretty upright. I did have one that pointed a little toward the toe. So if it's pointing toward the toe, then that would mean I need to bend it back down. So I'm 3 upright right now. So that a little bit would say at least go to 2 upright. That's still pretty, these other 2 were pretty straight out of 3. On the bottom, I am hitting a little harder on the heel, but not terribly. Like on this one, it's still pretty close to the center. That would just suggest maybe a 1 or 2 degree toward the middle. So maybe like going to a +1 might be a little bit better idea overall for me, I think, versus the +3. But let me show you what I found on my launch monitor data, which again, I was still hitting a lot of stuff right. So maybe not a huge difference either way on my lie angle. So let's hop on over to the computer screen. I'll show you guys my Garmin R10 launch monitor data. Okay guys, so here's the results. I actually did 2 sim sessions about 5 days apart. Here's the result of the second sim session, which I had been working on my swing a lot, so I wanted to do a second one. So I did 8 shots with each iron, so 5 all the way up to my pitching wedge. And you can see there's a pretty even distribution with a good amount, near the line. But let's see how many went left out of the 48 shots. So basically, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So, less than half, and a lot of them were, only 1 right or 2 right. So that would suggest that, let's see, the worst one that went left, the worst push or pull I had was with my 6 iron, which I just wasn't hitting well anyway, went 22 left, and the 5 iron, 18 left. Usually you would see an improvement with the longer irons. The 7 irons you see had a 13 and a 14 there. So according to this, I really shouldn't change the lie angle of the clubs. We're not too far off. However, I also played a game in between my first range session, or my first session on the simulator, and my second. And occasionally I would just hit one far left, which I'm just not used to doing. I'm going to blame it a little bit on the lie angle. Whereas usually I would either be, pretty center or slightly right or far right. And so I was still having some of the far right ones. But so basically, instead of having 2 options for my miss, or just being dead on or being slightly right or far right, now I actually have to add in like a far left miss. That just makes it more inconsistent when I'm choosing where I want to hit. This was the first one, which I did 63 shots, so 10 shots with each, and then I wasn't being super careful, so I did a few extra shots as well. So you can see, get a fairly even distribution here. This one may have had a few more left. Let's go through and look. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So almost like half of these went left. So again, I think I'm going to end up sending these into ping, having them just go standard, which is where I can show you the chart I was talking about. Here's the fitting chart. So I'm about 5'9", so I'm like dead in the middle. And with my golf shoes on, I'm like 33.5 inches, 34 inches, which puts me as a black. I'm currently playing a white, which would mean I have really long arms. Or really short arms, excuse me. Because my length from the wrist to the floor would be longer if I had shorter arms. So I'm going to send them into ping and we're going to do this test again. So make sure to subscribe It'll be interesting to see if Ping will repaint them black for me when they change the lie angle on them, or if they have a problem where they can only go down 2 degrees or something. So I'll update you guys. I'll make a video about sending the clubs into Ping to get adjusted, and we'll see what they do. I really basically making that decision based off just how I'm playing. I'm having this weird left miss that I'm not used to having every once in a while, and I just would like to account, like I'd much rather account for the ball going right and aiming a little bit more left, or aiming a little bit left of center in case that happens. And then now that I have this left miss, if I'm aiming left, I go really far left, and it's adding inconsistencies to my game. So I'm going to go back to my static measurement. I'm going to play with that for a while, see if I like it. I'll keep you guys updated. But I appreciate you guys watching. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see that video. Make sure to like this video if you found it helpful and enjoying. I'll catch y'all next time.